that happened 2,000 years ago. When Satan have concluded that they have killed the king and hope of glory, when they have scattered his flesh and drained his blood, and heard him cry, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani, my God, why? And they saw him breathe his last and cry, it is finished. And they pierced the spear, water and blood gushed out. And they took the lifeless form from the cross that now has become stiff and kept him in a tomb. And to make triple sure, they placed a mighty boulder that one man physically cannot remove. And to make double sure, they sealed it and cemented it. And to make triple sure, they set a guard. And all hell was celebrating. High five and high 10. Not knowing that you cannot crucify the King of Glory. Not knowing that he was planning the greatest rescue mission. The greatest rescue mission was to go down into the compartments in the earth to rescue all the Old Testament saints from Adam, Abraham, Noah, Isaac, Jacob, Samson, Ruth, Naomi, Deborah, David, Samuel, Solomon, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi, Elijah, Elisha. They were all in that. Sir, all those people who died as saints in the Old Testament, they did not go to heaven. They could not enter heaven. Heaven was sealed, awaiting the redemption of the blood. All the saints that have ever died in the Old Testament, they were kept in a retaining chamber. That place is called Abraham's bosom. It's also called paradise. That there are 3 retaining chambers in this earth. This earth you see, it's not as simple as you see. The thing where they're inside this earth, brother, is not easy. There were 3 chambers in this earth. That is where the first one, in Luke 16, you see a rich man and a poor man called Lazarus. That was not a parable. Jesus was giving a fact of what had happened in his time. In fact, even the name of the poor man is known. If you do research, you'll get it. And the Bible says the second chamber is where the rich man went. That one is called Hades. That's hell. That is where all the people who have died without Jesus and all the people who have died from the Old Testament, they have been kept in that hell, Hades, up to today. Now some people have been there for 4,000 years. They're still there suffering. Some have been there for 5,000. That was where the rich man in hell lifted up his eyes, which tells you the first chamber is higher than the second chamber. And he saw Lazarus. And he said, there's a great gulf between this chamber and the next chamber. Am I communicating here? Those saints who were kept in the first chamber, no man who has ever entered there has ever come out alive. Because there is a king who controls the gates of that place. His name is called Death. But all the saints who went to that place, Abraham's bosom, they were awaiting a day by prophecy. By prophecy, David said in the book of Psalms, he will not keep my soul in hell. By prophecy, they have seen the King of Glory coming to the gates, which has never opened before, and commanding, lift up ye everlasting doors, lift up your gates, and let the King of Glory come in. They have read in the Psalm 68:18 how he came into that chamber and led captivity captive. And all those saints that had been kept there for thousands of years, they were looking forward to that day when he who is older than age will come to that gate and remove the gatekeepers and somersault death and collect the key of death and hell. And on that day, when Satan was celebrating that they have killed the King of Glory, his spirit man went down into that first chamber. And those who were there, they saw a great light coming. And there was a great stirring that he who we have been believing for, can it be he? And they saw that light coming and ordering the gatekeepers, lift up ye everlasting doors. Ayala Katoria. And I can see David jubilating. I can see Abraham jubilating. I can see all the saints celebrating. And the Bible says in the book of 1 Peter chapter 3, and he came and preached to the prisoners in hell. He showed all of them from Genesis to Revelations how he is the one that is to come to take them out. And he said to them, but before I will take you out, I have another job to do. And the Bible says, and he descended to the lowest parts, that is hell, Hades. And he spoiled principalities and powers. Satan and all his millions of demons against one man called Jesus. One man scattered all of them. That's how powerful your Jesus is. He made an open public show. What does that mean? It means that all the people in the first chamber, they watched the cinema. They watched how Jesus scattered Jezebel, witchcraft, all those demons. And they were cheering, go ahead, Jesus. Go ahead, give him the uppercut. Glory. And then the Bible says, he who descended also ascended and led captivity captive. He emptied out that first chamber called Abraham's bosom. Not one of those saints was left behind. Every one of them came out. That was where Abraham's bosom was now transferred up to the heavenly paradise. There's another chamber also in hell. There's another chamber inside this earth. I mentioned two. There's another one. But I will tell you that one another day. Let me try. There's another place. That place is called Tartarus. It's another chamber. That is the chamber where those angels who did not keep their first estates have been kept. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4. Jude chapter 1 verse 6. Genesis chapter 6. Those angels who slept with men and produced the Nephilim. Am I still here? The Bible said those angels that did not keep their first estates, he has kept them in another chamber in the earth called Tartarus. That place is also called the bottomless pit.